welcome back to The Grade Cricketer right here on YouTube. This episode is brought to you by ACO, India's leading digital insurance company. As you already know, my name is Ian Higgins. Sam Perry sits across from me and I him. Pez, welcome back to some real cricket.
Thank you for the welcome, Ian, and I too extend a welcome both to you and to the viewers. It's been a while. It's been a while since the dailies. I love the dailies.
Now,
here goes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cricket coming up. A lot of Indian cricket coming up.
Yeah.
This is a momentous series for India. They've knocked over us. Lord knows they knocked over us.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I wake up just saying, Washi.
What is Natarajan doing?
Indeed. He's still on that chariot. I think, as you would be.
Now, we are, of course, reviewing what happened last night between Bangladesh and Australia in a game that you cannot see on television. No, England won the toss last night. They thought, we'll have a stick. We'll give that a go. We'll have a go. We'll have a go. And they tried their best for 183 cricket runs. India find themselves 21 for no loss. No one cares about that, Pez, because what the people want out there, can you put it to me in grade terms?
Yeah, I can. He goes, I can. And I was thinking about this long and hard. Yesterday, today, whatever fucking day it was, right? There goes the ad money from swear words. It's just, mate, get the number 4. I got nothing else.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking knock over number 4.
Yeah.
Get 4, they're done.
Yeah.
It's not, because it's not like 4 out, all out. We know that.
No,
it's not that. It's just get that one guy.
One guy.
Get him out.
Get him out.
You will win.
See you later.
Yeah. I want to talk about routes in a second, but it's just get the number 4. All that. But the first thing he goes, of the 3 that we bring, this format does not change.
Yep.
We do not grow or evolve at any point.
No.
The first thing is I want to talk selections, right, beforehand, because it was there was a theme to these selections. Spin is dead, seam is in.
Yeah.
Right? So to sum up, from India's side, Ravichandran Ashwin, not required. In this 11.
Yes.
Ravichandran Ashwin is not required in India's 11. And it is proving already to be a good decision.
Much like Sky News in Australia taken off YouTube.
Always compared those two.
He's probably still got his YouTube.
Indeed. The very monster that developed Sky News. Anyway, I love you, YouTube.
There really does go the ad money.
Ishan Sharma out as well. Siraj and Thakur are in. So seam heavy. And on England's side, England went with 4 seamers. No room for Jack Leach.
No room.
As well. Mate, what'd you make of that? Ravichandran Ashwin, no good. I mean, he spun webs around us.
Yeah.
And he's got a big YouTube channel.
I thought the interesting one for me was England's big old power play there. Just been like, well, you guys picked 9 spinners in India when you guys were cheating over there, playing those unfair wickets.
Yeah.
How do you like this? No spinners. No, we're not going to even get to pick a spinner. Sure, Leach is the only guy who's played a first-class game in the last month for England. He took 7 for at the Oval in that one game. No. We don't pick him no more. Dom Bess, who? Get out of here. Joe Root's going to be our spinner. He bats 4 mostly, but we're going to play Joe Root as our spinner. So it's just going to be seam-friendly. We're going to get this thing going around corners. We'll have a bat. And now we're in a bit of trouble. Just
from the England side as well, I think that the non-selection of Leach, given that everything in this series is about the Ashes, right? We understand that.
Australia won the Ashes last night.
This is This is a warm-up for the Ashes.
This is a warm-up.
I'm sure our viewers enjoy hearing that. But not picking Leach, and also they didn't pick Wood. I believe a lot of that was to compensate for some batting as well. Sam Curran comes in, Ollie Robinson comes in. They can hold the stick, but like that puts Leach back. You know, like how is Leach meant to come into this side? He's had a year out because their team can't stick. He's got to come in at some point and try and settle back into the team. Yeah. Anyway, we're not talking. This is not the Ashes reviews just yet. But yeah, they went with seam because it was a fucking seaming wicket.
Shane Warne would be screaming his television. No spinner. Indeed. No spinner.
If he hasn't lost his voice due to COVID.
Due to COVID, exactly. So Ashwin, I was thinking this is a possibility before the Test match started. Didn't say it, so did it really happen? I don't know. Much like that Bangladesh game last night for Australia, did it really happen? Didn't see it. Australia's losing 2-0 to Bangladesh.
Yeah, that's good.
Hey, they're a good team at home.
It's an R&D tour.
Rub and Doug. What? What? Make any
Rub
sense?
and duck.
So.
It's a new technique.
Well, fuck, there were some ducks last night. Ashwin averages 21 with the ball at home, 30 away. And I was thinking, but then Ashwin had such a good tour in Australia. You start to think, maybe he's developed his away credentials now, like make him undroppable. Whereas Jadeja, we know, is better with the bat.
Yeah.
I think he averages 31 or something like that away from home, Jadeja. But Jadeja averages very similar with the ball to Ashwin. It's something about 31, 32, something like that, away from home as well. So, yeah.
can't believe you weren't specific with a stat there. You're going to get hammered.
Yeah. Well, actually, fuck, okay, yeah, we've all got the internet. Jesus. But then he only bowled 3 overs in this innings, Jadeja, so it's... And with rain in this game as well.
I think it's a good decision. And I think they're afraid of what happened against New Zealand. They went with 3 and 2.
Fear governs all.
Fear governs all. But they went 3 and 2 against New Zealand. 3 seamers, 2 spinners. They wanted to reward who they thought their best players were.
Yep.
And they didn't pick the right team for the conditions. I think they'll concede that. Yep. Takua is more likely to be effective than Ashwin, most likely. He can also bat. And it's a seaming wicket. As we saw, how about we move into thing 2?
Please.
So I've titled this Bumrah Hoops Em. The Bumrah was their pick. Shami bowled very well also, but it was a great bowling performance from India. A lot of people have been saying in the lead up to this that this ain't the India of old. You know, we're telling people things they already know. These guys can bowl. They've got seamers as far as the eye can see.
My God, and you can see far as well. There's horizons for days.
I haven't worn glasses ever, all right? I've got 20/20 vision.
Hey, a bit of depth going on that Indian bowling lineup, given that... Because I think Siraj deserves raps as well. He's come in so well. He balances that he's such a good third seamer for this Indian team because he brings so much energy, and you just feel like something's going to happen every spell he bowls. We saw this in Australia, and this is part of my excitement for this series. And then I wanted England to see how good India are, and I'm glad they've proven me right. Okay,
after one day,
after one
day, 5-test
series, I can't believe we won the Ashes last night. I keep saying that. Can we have some of those guys to play in Bangladesh, please? Any of them, or even some of our good players as well. But you think of the depth they've got. Siraj, obviously, there. Yadav, Ishant Sharma not available. We saw Natarajan in Australia, though he's probably not even close. He's not even probably close to the squad.
He's playing third grade now.
Takua, then that's not even including fucking Washington Sundar and Axar Patel. Like the depth that this Indian Test team has is unlike any other. The second best Test team in the world.
They went. We called for stereotypical English conditions. We pretty much got them. Cloudy, overcast. The filter was on. The ball nibbled. And
pitch was brown.
India went to work, mate. You know, and look,
they went to work. Clock in, clock
we've
out.
seen a lot of formats come and go in the last couple of months. A lot of shitty little bilateral series. A lot of white ball shit. Oh, here's the 100. Great. You know, there's a graph here and there, but nothing for me beats Jasprit Bumrah in white clothes going outie innie. You know, sometimes the classics work best.
Just give me the classics. Play the hits.
Exactly. I turn on Mix 106.5 in Sydney.
I go to Oasis. Yeah. I don't want the new album. Play Wonderwall.
Play Wonderwall.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Bumrah outie innie is Wonderwall. And I just cannot wrap my head around the angles he can create.
Hey, like, what about the angles on this bloke?
Exactly. I've always said that.
How are the angles on it?
We were saying just off air before, you know those YouTube thumbnails that say like unbelievable curve on a football, and someone gets an arrow direction and makes it go just or you see like Shane Warne unbelievable delivery and the ball is literally spinning at right angles. But Bumrah was that. Like I felt like to Rory Burns, those balls were almost the ones that were going away from Burns were almost angled towards third slip. So the amount he gets that to come in to knock him over, it's a brilliant delivery, and everyone's like, "Oh, look, pretty standard Test match tactics." Burns should be aware of that. The angles on that are fucking remarkable.
Mate, he's bowling from mid-on again.
Yeah.
And like the subtlety, I know exactly what you mean. Just be like, well, Burns should be aware to this. He should just be looking to play straight.
Exactly.
Pretty sure he was trying to play straight for a start. But like the angle of his wrist when he's like, it is facing third slip coming from mid-on. And then to get that ball, the subtlety of it to just straighten the wrist a little bit, and to bring that ball from that wide of the crease to basically pitch on leg and then hit leg, middle leg.
That's right.
Is fucking the curvature on that at that speed.
Yeah.
Is just
it's almost impossible. Even when you freeze Burns at the point of being hit on the pad, technically he doesn't look too bad. Like his head isn't too far across. It is a little bit because he's got to cover off stump, but not too far. It was. I'm not saying it was unplayable, but it was an unbelievable delivery.
And for how short it actually pitched, for him to go that wide, to be still pitching in line, because that was actually a good decision from Kettleborough. In that, like, because when it's pitches that short to a left-hander, you think, well, it has to be outside leg.
That's right. It can't possibly come back that much. So, I'm really glad for Bumrah as well, because he was underdone against New Zealand, but now he has some conditions. He did cop a bit of shit
online.
And so you got to look. England's its own conditions. You got to ask yourself, well, could this be an area that he doesn't know where he might struggle a little bit? No. He's bowling.
Married. He got married. You know,
he got married.
He's calling his heels.
Exactly.
He's calling his jets.
And now he's just bowling through Richard Punt, who's got yellow glasses. He's Corey Worthington.
He's on the ski slopes.
Exactly. He's on the slopes. It all looks pretty good. And there's Shami at the other end with his rolling shoulder boulders, hitting pretty lengths, beating the bat. Yeah, it's probably a little bit shorter. It looks really good, but he could have had 6.
Get him down to final. Get that towel up right up to here.
Exactly.
Do whatever he wants.
Also look pretty good.
I found it funny with Shami, who's just beating the bat outside off, how many plays and misses, and then just like gets Lawrence strangled down the leg side. Just do that. Just bowl down leg. Slip one down there. Cricket's fucked.
Either side of T, England lost 6 for 22, he goes. And amid that was Joss Butler, who was torturous with the bat. He was a duck off 18 balls. And
who amongst us cannot relate to that?
Well, I'll tell you one thing we can't relate to. Look, Joss Butler hasn't played a first-class match since the Chennai Test in the first week of February. He's not played a red ball game since February.
Neither have I. You got to keep that in mind.
That's a good point. Normally when we play grade cricket, though, you get strangled, you get out like that, but you actually played about 5 days ago. You just shit. Bairstow hasn't played a first-class match since March. Sam Curran hasn't played a first-class game since England were in Gaul in January. But I do want to call out something that Ben Jones from CricViz said, right? And I don't know whether you take these stats with a grain of salt, whatever that means, but since 2006, claims, Ben, only one innings has seen more swing at a higher pace with better accuracy than India's overnight. Yeah. India were very, very good. 183.
Mate, I think the story of the day, as fun as it is to say that England can't bat, because that does remain true, and we're getting on to England's batting.
I think it's going to be true.
India, sensational. And the relentlessness of the lengths, how little they gave away. Even the runs that were scored, I thought Root batted really well, as he often does. But how many runs were actually scored through third man rather than just actually turn the strike over, hitting the balls in front of square? Like the lengths were just relentless, and it's this Indian team is fucking. There's something else.
Yeah,
something else.
So
basically the hundreds to blame for this innings.
Well, it was interesting that a lot of the questions to the batting coach Marcus Trescothick after the game were about the impact of the schedule on England's batting, and he conceded that it had to have been an impact. He didn't want to. He didn't want to blame it necessarily. But you've got India who are in a 2-week camp. Ravi Shastri's there with his bottle of vodka, but making them run laps, and they're fit, they're ready to go. I don't know why he's got a bottle of vodka, but he does. It's a compliment. And you got England, rolling in like Brown's cows from the 100 with the wrong kid on and stuff like that. Well, lambs to the slaughter.
Apparently India were like that, hanging out in the Lake Districts for ages, or in Durham, just knocking about, just hanging around the country, just having a good time.
Yeah,
having the time of their lives,
isn't it? Kind of like the situation last year where like the Aussies were all locked up in hotels, but India were heading out to Tradston and stuff like that. Third thing, he goes, why can't England bat? Let me commence from the top. Dom Sibley. Now, got through the first session.
Yeah, he did.
What was he on? 18.
Yeah. Job done.
They say he's changed his game a little bit, the way he's holding the bat and stuff. There's some subtle changes. Yeah, still pretty Dom Sibley to me.
Yeah. I still recognise he was on strike.
Dom Sibley's 18 not out as lowest score made by an England opener batting through a full first session of the day of a test since Chris Smith's 12 not out versus Pakistan at Karachi in...
that was in
1984,
That was 84.
So they all struggled except for Joe Root, and to a lesser extent Johnny Bairstow. But can we say of Joe Root, we regularly slate him for not turning his 50s and 60s into hundreds and match-winning hundreds. Sometimes, though, you hit a really good 60 because the wicket's difficult, and that's 60 really good runs. And I thought his 60 was very, very good.
Yeah.
He was great to watch.
Yeah.
And you could tell by the difficulty of what was going on around him that there were some pretty good runs to score.
No, I agree.
He had no one to go with him.
Can both things be true? I mean, he sort of misses a bit of a half volley on leg in the end.
Yeah.
Test match half volley, not a third-grade half volley.
To be clear.
Natarajan sort of swings him out there, but I mean, this
Natarajan. No, who was it that got him?
Sorry, it was Takua.
Takua, yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
Natarajan.
It didn't look like it had a lot of venom on it. That ball
didn't look like it.
It looked like a loss of concentration shot.
Yeah, and I was flicking between channels at the time, so I had eagle eye on that, and it was at 2 a.m. But mate, I think this is also the problem with Joe Root. Like, he gets to 50 and he looks the business. I thought he was busy, and this is my thing.
Very good.
This is my thing with England's batting, especially Sibley, Burns, Crawley, and I think Crawley's going to be a good player. I think a lot of people think that as well.
Crawley looked good,
but there's no pressure put back on the bowler, and I understand how difficult it is to bat in Test matches in England, having done it a few times myself, as you know.
Yeah, indeed, and quite well.
Yeah, quite well. Underrated, many people did say. But it just seems to me like there's no intention to score. There's no pressure being put back onto the bowlers. There's no chances to get off strike. I suppose actually Crawley did move around the crease a little bit.
I thought Crawley was pretty good.
Yeah, he looked okay. That was a weird dismissal, him getting out, wasn't it? With him getting like reviewed and then whatever. I I don't know, but I just think England they get stuck in a rut. But this also can happen in England where you lose 6 for 22. That's one of the great things about cricket in England and how quickly it can change at any point in the day. That's why it's so exciting compared to, say, even in Australia when it's flat. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
So, mate,
simply
Root look good, but fuck everyone else. I mean, look at this team, man. Mate, Dan Lawrence at 5 for all the win in the world. He can be an exciting player batting at 6. Was he? Yeah, so was at 5.
Yeah.
Mate, it's just not working out for him.
It's the 7th time in 9 innings England have failed to pass 200 against India. Of course, many of them were in India, but even so, they don't have a lot of experience getting more than 200.
Mate, what about this? Sorry if I can interject. Friend of the show, Will McPherson, journalist for The Standard.
Yes.
31 ducks in the last 9 tests for England.
Wow.
31 ducks.
Wow.
4 of them in this innings. Burns, Lawrence, Butler, Robinson.
So that's good. They really do have to get off the mark.
They just get off the mark and then you'll be fine.
4 ducks in this innings. They only had, and so on the scheduling stuff, 2 rounds of the county championship heading into the test series. Well, Australia's been doing that with the BBL for about 10 years championship. So, yes, this is the 100's fault.
Yeah.
It was ominous, I'd say. I mean, I think you're right. Joe Root probably goes, I could have gone on with that because I need to do that. But by the same token, any danger, guys, any danger of me not needing to go on with it every single blooming time.
49 50s for Joe Root, 20 hundreds. 49 50s.
AskTGC, he goes, now we've gone to the archive here because we obviously didn't have any coming in for day one.
Yes. AskTGC brought to you by ACCO.
Brought to you by ACCO. I was going to say that.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I know you were.
Yeah. Sorry, Shish. So, AskTGC.
Yeah, what do the people say?
Karan Nagpal writes in, I love the great cricketer theory that the nicer the bloke, the more skeletons in his closet. Boys, by that logic, does Rahul Dravid live in a cemetery? Haven't heard a bad thing about him in 20 years of following the game. He can probably alpha Kane and mafioso Rahane.
Yeah, well. Okay, I don't want to have to bring this up about, especially on YouTube.
About this story about Rahul?
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the story.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you talk about the cemetery because someone in it was an anonymous source once said, like, look, everyone's got skeletons in their closet, but Warnie's dead set Rookwood. Rookwood Cemetery is the biggest cemetery in Australia. So it's interesting we're talking about cemeteries.
That's actually where Mafioso Rahane actually buries most of his bodies. Not a lot of people know that.
All we can say about that, like, theory is that, you know, if Rahul Dravid is a 10 out of 10 nice bloke, look under the hood. No one's 10 out of 10. That's all I'm saying.
Have a check under the hood.
With full respect. Rion Banks, to finish up, he goes, my girlfriend recently pointed out how well-groomed a man's beard was the other day. I could not resist and spent the next 15 minutes telling her how important coaches' beard vectors are to world cricket. And she said, what the fuck is wrong with you? The coach being Kohli.
And what the fuck is wrong with all of us? Even when Kohli doesn't do anything in the day, he still somehow gets to be in the highlight reel where, like, he just wants to wind down that clock to get down to 0 for the DRS. He's looking at the screen, looking at Rishabh, having a look at the bowler. He knows what he's going to do after about, like, 0.01 seconds when that ball hits the gloves. And he's like, showtime, baby.
Seems to bother people. Doesn't really bother me. It's just the whole thing. You know?
Oh, mate, I am fucking wound up.
Absolutely winds me up. Can have the greatest day of all time. Mate. Everything goes well. But when Kohli holds off on that review...
He's done what?
Lockdown's really getting to us.
All right, day 2 tomorrow. I think there's been a rain forecast.
Yeah, get your AskTGCs in.
Get your AskTGCs in. Thank you so much, as ever, for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow. Good to be back, baby. See you tomorrow.